The Aston Martin DB9, a vehicle that across its 12-year lifespan saw sales of around 17,000 units, or about 1,400 per year. An exclusive proposition, no doubt, but that's nothing compared to the rarest vehicle that we're looking at today that saw sales of around 350 units per year. And it's this. Oh yeah, I don't have a cameraman, hang on. And it's this, the Volkswagen or people car Mark IV Polo, Dune. And that's the important bit. As you can see, it is precisely a Polo. But look, there's clip-on plastic wheel arches, roof rails, oversized plastic bumpers, an arch gap that's wider than your mum's vagina. Clearly, this Polo Dune edition is rugged and ready to tackle any obstacle that one might throw in its path. Probably not, actually, but we'll be testing that later on, because first, we need to understand what the point of the Polo Dune is. No idea, but its inspiration possibly came from the Rover Streetwise, which is not a promising start. As we can see, it's a similar concept, a small hatchback with plastic additions, but if we delve into automotive history a little bit further, we perhaps find the source of all of this tomfoolery. In 1983, Fiat released the Panda 4x4, a tiny hatchback with a small engine that, as the name suggests, had a four-wheel drive system, and it turned out to be an excellent car for either traversing your Italian vineyard or nipping down to the shops. It was well received, with newer models released over the years, and the Fiat Panda 4x4 gained an almost cult-like status within automotive circles. And this didn't go unnoticed by other vehicle manufacturers who set about developing their own small, rugged off-road hatchbacks. Rover would be the first to market with the Rover Streetwise in 2003, and VW followed soon after in 2004 with the Polo Dune. Which is rarer than an Aston Martin because nobody bought one. There were supposed to be several thousand of these sold on a yearly basis, but that didn't really happen, and that means today this particular Polo Dune is one of about 150 examples left on the road in this configuration. I say configuration. There wasn't much to configure when purchasing your Polo Dune. It was offered with 3 engine choices, slow, slow, and still slow, and there were 2 optional extras that you could specify, metallic paint and a 6-disc CD auto changer. Ask your dad. To be fair though, for the time, these cars were quite well equipped with climate control, 17-inch alloy wheels, heated door mirrors and front fog lights, but none of that matters when you're using this car as intended, which is off-road. This is a byway, also known as a dirt track. It is definitely not suitable for normal road cars, but despite that, you are legally allowed to drive your car down this track if you so wish. If only we had some sort of rugged off-road vehicle designed specifically for the task. Yeah, if only we did. Instead, we've got a Volkswagen Polo Dune. I'll explain the problem later on, because first we need to send it down this byway, which surely will be easy for our off-road Polo. For this practical demonstration, we'll be attempting to drive the Polo Dune a quarter of a mile along the byway, where, at the end, if we make it, awaits a nice bit of tarmac and a paved return journey. If we don't make it, I'm not exactly sure, but it's not my problem because I won't be driving. Please welcome Charlie from the Waymo Spotcast channel. Not only is he mad enough to attempt this, he's mad enough to buy a Polo Dune in the first place because this one is his, which is good news because if it gets damaged, it's Charlie's fault. Mind you, I don't think the Polo will make it more than a few meters. Time to find out.
Okay, here goes nothing.
Well, I was expecting that to be a huge struggle, but the Polo's done quite well, which is surprising because despite the original design intention, the Polo has absolutely nothing by way of off-road capabilities, unlike the Panda 4x4, which may have been the inspiration. The Panda had a proper four-wheel drive system with low-ratio gears and stuff to make off-roading possible, but VW didn't put anything like that in the Polo Dune. It's an ordinary front-wheel drive Polo that happens to have a little bit more ground clearance, and it seems that the car-buying public didn't fall for it. If you wanted a small off-road hatchback, you'd buy a Panda, which people did, and nowadays that makes the Polo Dune quite a rare vehicle indeed. It's just a shame it's shit and no one cares. But hang on a minute, it's 2025, cars are ridiculously expensive, complicated, and one might argue less reliable. This 20-year-old Polo Dune with 150,000 miles is still going strong, and if something does go wrong, it's 20 quid and half an hour to fix, owing to the simplicity. Oh, and it only costs 1,500 quid, far less than the deposit required for a new vehicle finance plan. And maybe now it actually makes sense. Let me show you what I mean. There's far too much crouching down in this video. This is a curbstone, and if you hit one of these in a modern car, you're taking the front bumper off, shattering your alloy wheel and snapping your suspension, making for a very bad day. And these days, it seems to be getting harder and harder to find a road that isn't full of these or just falling apart. Not a problem for the Polo Dune, though, with its 20mm raised suspension. If anything, you'll be seeking out hazards to crash into just because you can. And in some ways, because it didn't sell very well, I think that makes it good. With so few of these cars still existing, they instantly stand out amongst the crowd. Not because they're beautiful or a masterpiece, but because they're interesting, characterful, and the Dune represents a moment of automotive manufacturing madness where they tried to capture some sort of off-road magical dream created by the Panda 4x4 and failed to deliver completely. You'd have thought VW would learn their lesson, but no, the next generation of Polo featured the Cross Polo in the lineup, a different name, but essentially the same concept. Stick on some plastic, raise the suspension, and call it an off-road vehicle. This would be discontinued due to poor sales because, well, yeah, of course it would. Put an actual four-wheel drive system in it with some bigger tyres and you might be onto something. In the meantime, Fiat Panda. It's difficult to not be negative when it was a sales flop, but if we come at this from a 2025 ownership point of view, I think there's quite a few positives. As established, it's rare, it's got character, and it's an interesting talking point. The cost to buy is fairly minimal, and given the small engines, the running costs are fantastically cheap. This one has the 1.4-litre three-cylinder diesel, which not only returns 1 million miles per gallon, there's nothing to service, just change the oil and the fuel filter occasionally, and it'll keep going. And ultimately, it's a VW Polo hatchback, so it's wonderfully practical. Or is it? Let's find out. VW Polo Dune drum kit. If we can get all of this in here, it's a practical motor vehicle, but there'll be bonus points if we can get it all in whilst keeping at least one of the rear seats available for a passenger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel, F1 driver Max Verstappen. I don't know why I'm still stood here. I need to put this in the car. So, fantastic, it all goes in, and we've still got space for Max. Thank you very much for joining us, buddy. So it's cheap, has character, it's repairable, it works on crap roads, you can fit your stuff in the boot, and I'm struggling to see what's not to like. If you need a pothole-proof, cost-effective car to get about, then perhaps the VW Polo Dune is the perfect option. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Hold on, there is one thing that's not to like about this car, which I didn't really want to mention, but I'll just show you. It's not fast, but thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.